say not enough. Not enough. For decades, if you had the terminology of mental illness, it was taboo. You were crazy. Okay? You were out there. If you were in a school where you had, a label, people would shun you. I have a family member who has obsessive compulsive disorder. It's a mental illness, believe it or not. It's a mental illness. Medication controls, the OCD. But to go to the question with law enforcement, we had a situation in Allentown not long ago where a gentleman was mentally ill and trying to talk him out of things. He had a machete the whole bit, and they shot him. They killed him. There are other ways that could have resolved that situation without killing a person, taking a human life. We're not putting enough money into the mental illness area. I would state that our Allentown police people, our fire department, our EMS people should be trained, take a course in symptoms of mental illness. There are many symptoms of mental illness, OCD being one of them, paranoid schizophrenia being another. Okay? You have to address the issue at the root. You just can't say, they're mentally ill, stay away from them. Not going to work. We're going to have more tragedies in this country that we've had already, and it all turns out is the person has a mental illness. Treat it. It's not a scary word. Treat it. Thank you.
When it comes to mental illness in the police here in Allentown, I'm sure that from when you read the papers and even people that we know right here on the streets of Allentown, there certainly is very little being done. The problem that I know for a fact that the problem that's happening is the fact that the knowledge is not there, and if it is, it's not being used. We have a lot of mentally ill people right now wandering the streets here, and people know the locations up there by the 7-Eleven, over here downtown Allentown, coming up Hamilton. And the issue is that when I talk to different police in the area and we say, well, there's situations, a lot of them are kind of like, oh, well, that's just the way it is and that's the way it's going to be. And we need better than that. We deserve better than that. What I would do is I would definitely say there needs to be more education, there needs to be more demonstration when it comes to the people here in the Allentown area. As stated before, the young man that was unfortunately gunned down and shot 13 times when he had the machete in his hand, in my opinion, that was unfortunately an unnecessary situation. People look at it in different ways. Some people say it was deadly force, some people say they couldn't have been avoided, but the situation is that if there had have been possibly more education, then that situation perhaps didn't have to escalate to the way it has. But again, we don't even have to talk about that. We have tons of mentally ill people right here on the streets who are actually just being ignored, and I call them the invisible people. What's going on with them? And again, we have people on bikes, policemen on bikes and patrol cars, again, just driving by, not knowing. So apparently there's not being enough done.